Hello and welcome back to Speed Freak Garage, home of power sports on YouTube. So I actually was able to get Phytech on the phone yesterday. They luckily had some Saturday hours and I just caught them at the end of their hours. So had a couple questions answered. Luckily the guy was super friendly and really helpful. So the first thing I asked was about the reluctor wheel. I was like, I bought an engine that was supposed to be a 58X, but for whatever reason, this engine has a 24X reluctor wheel. And he said, all you have to do is buy the black 24X reluctor sensor. Okay, and then in the programming, when you're programming your engine, just select 24X. And he said everything will plug in right and work right. And he said if you have it selected wrong, then your RPMs won't display correctly and the engine won't start. So it's not going to hurt anything. You'll just have, 33 RPMs while you're cranking, which is, obviously a starter's way faster than that. Or the other way, you could have way too many RPMs and the starter's obviously not that fast. So that's basically fixed. Done. The other thing, the intake air temperature sensor, he said unfortunately these don't have a spot for that. So I either have to put it up here somewhere, which I told him I'm probably going to have a cone filter. So he said a lot of people either stick it right in the end of the cone filter or they tap a hole somewhere in here for the sensor. So my thought is I'm going to try and stick it between the throttle body and the intake manifold. Since I have to have a restrictor plate, I can also machine a hole for the intake air temperature sensor and stick it right here. And that would get really good air temperature. Now, the other thing I asked, and he couldn't really answer it, I said, I believe that this manifold has already been installed because it just looks god-awful. And the mass air pressure sensor was already installed. He said he doesn't think that's possible, but he couldn't rule out that it happened, that they sent me a used one. So after I got off the phone with him, I did some more research. This is a Dorman, so this is a Dorman symbol. This is a Dorman 615-901. So, and it's really disappointing because I figured out what happened right away. When you go on Dorman's website, so on their own website, Dorman has a picture of the back of the manifold. And I'll put an overlay on the video. So in that picture, this defect here and this defect here are in that picture of their product. So there's a big chunk of plastic missing out of two parts in the back of the manifold. So this isn't a used manifold, this is a brand new manifold, and Dorman is just a garbage company that can't send a good manifold. So I'm gonna take this manifold off, I'm gonna get my mass air pressure sensor out, and I'm gonna start arguing with Dorman about replacing the manifold. Now, there is one other thing that happened. So if you look at Dorman's website, and it still makes me think Phytech may have messed up a little bit, because if you look at Dorman's website, this manifold comes with button head bolts to replace the valley cover bolts, because you can see here the valley cover bolt actually went into this manifold a little bit and prevented it from seating properly. So it looks like they're all like that. So Phytech didn't include the button head bolts that the manifold's supposed to come with. So it still makes me think this manifold had been installed before and somebody else is like, oh shit, this manifold's garbage, and then sends it back. I think these are the fuel rails. Yeah. So the fuel rail and fuel rail brackets, the brackets are included, but there are no button head bolts to replace the valley cover bolts. And of course it's not in the instructions. And I did kind of give him shit for that. I was like, why don't you have instructions for the composite manifold? Like these instructions don't match at all. So anyway, the only thing I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get this garbage manifold off, so I'm ready to get it replaced whenever I finish arguing with Dorman. Damn it, did I leave this torque wrench set? Fuck, that's not good for him. So, yeah, I think it was a 10. I didn't leave the quarter-inch set, did I? No. So I'm gonna do everything I can, even if I have to argue with somebody on the phone, all lunch for every day until it's fixed, because it's fucking bullshit. So the first thing we're gonna do is rescue our mass air pressure. So, because obviously the Dorman intake doesn't come with a mass air pressure sensor or this nice little adapter. So I'm gonna take that seal too. So, and it still doesn't make much sense to me, because my understanding is that this was not supposed to have already been installed with the kit. So again, I think somebody realized how shitty the intake was, and they're like, fuck this shit, and they returned it. So, I mean, I don't have that luxury right now, because the last thing I want to do is argue with Phytech about returning the entire kit and then buying an entire new kit and then risking that the intake is, like, this is a molding defect. What happened is when the mold released, it sucked this plastic in. Yeah, so anyway, we're going to get this fucking thing out. And then we're going to have to take the valley cover bolts out, because those will have to be replaced with button head bolts. And currently I don't even know if I can get Dorman to agree to replace this piece of garbage, let alone, and I'm going to need new washers. These stainless steel washers are too weak. I'm going to have to go, actually I don't know if I got 10 of them though. I know I got some washers, but, oh no, wait, they're stainless. So I just need to, let's see. These are class 8s actually, these aren't stainless, but I doubt I have. No, I don't, they're not even close. Do I have 10 of them? No. And then this whole pack here is stainless, so it's not strong enough, as these proved. Wait, what are these? I have a ton of these. How strong are these? I bet these aren't stainless. They're probably stronger than that. Oops. Yeah. That was a mistake. Fuck. Well, that was dumb. But yes, that is that is a steel washer, not a stainless steel. Of course, that was really stupid, and now this bolt's fucked up. Shit, I can fix that. Fuck, I might have just screwed up really big time. Come on. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, all these washers are trash. So, all right, now we're gonna see what's going on with the underside here. Yeah, so there's mark from the valley cover bolts, because this was supposed to come with button head bolts, and their instructions should have the courtesy to be like, hey, by the way, your valley cover bolts have to be changed. So, and these seals aren't supposed to come installed, and that's in all the instructions across all the different Dorman stuff I was looking at. So basically, Dorman sold Phytech a pile of garbage, and Phytech, I guess, didn't realize or doesn't care, and so then they sold me a pile of garbage. So, but I'm gonna leave this on here to keep the cathedral ports covered. Well, I guess the fuel injector holes are still there, but anyway. So unfortunately, that is all I can do until I get a replacement intake, which the problem is I could get 5 of them from Dorman, and all 5 could possibly have the same molding defect, which is that this is completely hollow, which is not correct, and that this is missing plastic, which obviously is not correct. So I'm going to be fighting all week and possibly all next week to get a new intake, because there's no fucking way in hell I'm going to pay $1,000 for a name brand Fast LSX intake. That's a fucking outrageous price for a piece of plastic. So I will see you guys in a couple days, I guess. I'm pissed. Have a good Sunday, guys.
Try not to hold me down, feeling like